What's up, everyone? Dan here, Crypto Capital Venture, September 2nd, 2018. It's Sunday around 3 o'clock Eastern. Gonna do a little live stream. If you're a replay viewer, I'm gonna come right off the bat and say it. Check out the comments, pinned comment section for timestamps in regards to what we're gonna go over in this video. So if you wanna skip over to the Bitcoin short squeeze news piece that we're gonna cover, you can check that out in the timestamp below. Otherwise, we're going to be diving into Bitcoin price as well as Litecoin price analysis after that. So, going to give it a couple minutes to get started. So, if you are a replay viewer, thank you for coming by, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And then otherwise, let's see, we got Rob in the house. Rob, you messaged me and I shot you an email back not that long ago, maybe an hour ago. So hopefully you got my reply. Ryan Jack, what's up, dude? Betelgeuse. Sorry for mispronouncing your name. What's up? Jeff Forster. Purge. Linda, what's up? Motor City, what up? What up, what up? Silver Fox. Just giving it a couple minutes. Let some of my peeps. Lisa Rock, Dan are my best TA. I appreciate that. Especially because on YouTube, there are some really, really good technical analysis channels. So that means a lot that you would even think that. Bitcoin go boom. Maybe. Maybe. Time will tell. So I'm going to get into this. I tweeted. I'm going to start with a tweet just because I think it's important. I think it's very important to talk about this. Thanks, Bryce. Bryce says, Dan, thanks for all the work you do updating everyone. No problem. I appreciate it. This is just me checking in with you guys. I check in anyway on what's going on with Bitcoin news, Litecoin news, price. And I enjoy just kind of going over it with all of you, right? You make it just as enjoyable for me. So I tweeted right about now is when some begin twiddling their fingers, wondering if they should buy. Not a bad idea either way, in my opinion. Because it's not. If you're long on cryptocurrency, I don't think it's a bad idea to be buying, even if you are FOMOing. But it is a first symptom of FOMO, so be careful and don't make any emotional decisions. Because oftentimes, I think the problem with people FOMOing in and buying at the even short-term highs is because they have that fear of missing out, right? But what happens is with that fear of missing out, some people, I think, end up spending money that they really can't afford to lose. They're not prepared to invest, and then they get wrapped up in that emotional decision, like it's going up, it's never going to beat this price again. I need to purchase right now, even though they don't have the money to. So, it's a real issue. It's a real problem, and I don't know what the vaccine is for FOMO, but I think it might just be patience and preparation. I'm pretty sure that's the vaccine. That's the cure for FOMO. Crypto Ross, hey buddy, what's up? Jim Flanagan, what's up, man? At Islands having lunch. What's up, Jim? Welcome to the Sunday live stream. Jose Miguel Lopez, what's up, dude? I see you in the house. So don't FOMO. That's really the story here. And then another really quick piece of news. And I don't know why we have a funny piece of news, I thought. Elon Musk plays along with ETH giveaway scam on Twitter. Barely a few hours after crypto giveaway scam bots on Twitter targeted the official account of Pope Francis to promote a fake Bitcoin giveaway, Elon Musk has been targeted while taking a playful jab at the now ubiquitous Twitter scam. And he responded to this tweet. Somebody says, any chance you can tell us anything about BFR? I'm willing to pay 200 ETH at this point. And then he says, at this point, I want ETH, even if it is a scam. So I love that. I always wonder about how much these celebrity profile social media accounts are like targeted with spam and just so many comments. And I think it's hilarious that Elon Musk replied. Jose Miguel Lopez says, FOMO equals one-way ticket to Rec City. Kev a million. What's up, Dan? Feeling good about the market. LTD looking good. I'm thinking you meant LTC. I'm pretty sure you meant. Kandu Kumar, Litecoin has no gains in today's traditional total washout. Are you talking trash, Kanda? Kanda Kumar, talking trash on Litecoin. Poseidon Lou, what's up, dude? What's up, fam? $9.99 super chat, kicking it off right. My boy, what's up, Poseidon? What are you doing over there anyway, California? 12 noon, you're probably just hanging out outside, just relaxing. Probably hanging out with the dogs, aren't you? You're just chilling with the dogs, throwing a little tennis ball around, playing some fetch, Poseidon Lou. Thanks for coming by, man. Steven Herzog, what's up, dude? Man, I wonder if Steven Herzog, I wonder if I'm pronouncing your last name right. I always wonder that. Is it Herzog, Herzog? I wonder. So anyway, I thought that was funny, Elon Musk, but really, let's see, what are we? We're a few minutes in here, and we're gonna dive right into the essence of what this video is, which is talking about the Bitcoin short squeeze. And we're gonna even look at the charts a little bit, but it's really interesting to follow this and follow what's going on. Steven, he says, the first time you got it right. Wow, so I've been pronouncing your name wrong this whole time. I'm sorry, dude. Bitcoin shorts reach all-time highs during low market cycle. What's next? Bitcoin shorts reach all-time highs. So here we go. And wait till you see the chart. It looks pretty crazy, the daily chart. Bitcoin short positions have been ranging near their all-time highs during the past month, signaling that traders are giving up hope that Bitcoin will maintain its current price over $7,200. That right there is kind of your sign that there might be a turnaround coming. When anybody says that signaling traders are giving up hope, that's when you really need to open your eyes. On September 1st, a notable 10,000 Bitcoin short position was opened. 10,000 short position, bringing Bitcoin short positions back near their all-time highs as Bitcoin shows relative stability in the low 7,700s. Let's hope not. We'll continue on with his article in a second, but I just want to give you a nice little picture of what the article is referencing. So look at this. So if you were on Twitter, if you're on social media, if you've been even following YouTube channels, this downtrend in shorts, right, was catching some momentum. A lot of people talking about, wow, shorts are going down. That's a really good sign. And then look what happens September 2nd. Look at this. Look at this green daily candle on short positions. So that's what the article is referencing. So it's something to keep an eye out on. And Drew Blood, 21, at Pebble Beach, wanted to say hi. Can't be on the phone the whole time. The fiance will give me the look. As always, hold and buy more with a $9.99 super chat while he's at Pebble Beach. Dude, Drew Blood, I appreciate that, man. And enjoy it. Seriously, shut down the phone. Get me off your screen. Get me out of your life today if you're at the beach hanging out with your fiance, dude. That's awesome, man. Fiance. I wonder when you get married, Drew Blood. I wonder when you get married. I just got married July 4th. Maybe I can give you some advice at the summit. Appreciate it, dude. Go enjoy your day. Really enjoy the beach. I wish I was at a beach right now. I mean, you're at the beach and look at me. Look at this. I have pumpkin cheesecake candle burning. It's like the aroma of fall is in the air in my office. And then you got Drew Blood at the beach. So back to the article on Bitcoin shorts. Although this example of correlation between large quantity of open short positions and a preceding price climb in Bitcoin is inconclusive, the same price reaction occurred in early August when short positions climbed from 17,000 open positions on August 2nd to just under 40,000 open positions on August 21st. The over 2-time increase in open Bitcoin shorts corresponded with Bitcoin falling from $8,000 in late July to just over $6,000 on August 13th, which drove many altcoins to their year-to-date lows, crushing market sentiment. It continues, many traders speculate that overly confident short positions, and this is really something I really wanted to highlight. Many traders speculate that overly confident short positions act as rocket fuel for market rallies due to what is commonly referred to as a short squeeze. And we can continue. Chris Bernisk, a partner at Placeholder VZ, examined the situation on a Twitter thread explaining what the potential results of the massive short position could be. In general, nobody does know. It could go either way is what he says, but let's see what he actually does say. So he says the interesting thing with outstanding short positions as an indicator is it can simultaneously be interpreted in opposite ways. From a momentum perspective, lots of short positions can be interpreted as a good time to pile on as shorts collectively work to break an asset's back. From a contrarian perspective, lots of short positions can be seen as rocket fuel to the upside if the shorts are wrong and get squeezed. So in general, this could go either way. It could get even uglier. Eric 3.0, what's up? It could get even uglier. Shorts can increase even more, breaking the back of Bitcoin, and we could go lower in Bitcoin, or they can get caught up. The shorts can be wrong in what they're doing right now, and they will get squeezed. And that's the question, right? Like, he's basically saying nobody knows. So it's clear that although short positions reaching their all-time highs are usually preceded by short-term rallies, the price could go either way based on whether or not bulls or bears are the ones providing the pressure. So I mean, are the bulls going to step in and provide that pressure? Are we going to see that volume? That's what nobody knows. So right now you can see Bitcoin at $7,300, just over $7,300 in this continued uptrend. And what's really exciting, and I want to look at a couple oscillators too in this video, but what's really cool and exciting for me is the fact that we are approaching, we're slowly but surely, we're getting there, and we're approaching this 618 area from that Fibonacci, which is basically that swing high to this previous low on the Fibonacci. And I'm just gonna chart it real quick so you get a nice little picture of it, especially if you haven't seen any previous videos that I've done. But there it is. So the 618, and let me just move this up a little. The 618 to 786 channel, that huge channel we've been talking about for a while now in terms of Bitcoin resistance. And this is that first area, because right now I'm not convinced. Like, I'm not convinced of a bottom, and I've mentioned this, and you know, I know a lot of people don't like that, but I'm just not convinced. And I mentioned I won't really be convinced until we break this channel right here, which we have four things going on. We have the 618, we have the 786, that resistance channel. We have this 200 EMA literally running right through the middle of it. And then we have this neckline, which is the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders, this possible inverse head and shoulders. So until we break all these things, I'm not really going to be convinced that we're in an actual bull market and we found a bottom in this long-term trend. So time will tell there, but what I can say is if we do break this area, if we do break this previous lower high around $8,300 on the daily chart, then I'm going to start being more convinced. But for now, I'm kind of anticipating resistance here in this area and a possible lower high, next lower high, to come back down and then possibly test this area, maybe get a triple bottom, and we can start talking about that if it happens. Otherwise, we're talking about even worst case scenario, which is basically in those 5,000s coming down to around $5,500. So that's my target area in terms of if we do get a lower high, next area of real true support, $5,500. Not going to talk about the downside a lot, but it's something to be prepared for and something I'm really truly anticipating unless I'm proven otherwise and we just shatter through this area of resistance right now. Because from a technical analysis standpoint, it's a true area of resistance, and we really could be setting up a lower high here. I know nobody wants to hear that. I don't want to see that happen. I enjoy a bull market, right? I'm a long-term bull, but I am kind of a bearish bull right now on the short term, which I don't think is a terrible thing. John Moore, what is up? John Moore, check it out. First of all, you're awesome. I went to the post office the other day, and dude, you're the man. I got the shirt you sent me. Nationwide Merchant Solutions. Pay with Litecoin. John Moore John Moore, you're the man, dude. You do so much work, and I appreciate this shirt. And look, I also have Sarah's small. I can't believe you did it. You sent Sarah's shirt, dude. So she owes you a video, I guess, right? That was a deal. We're gonna use Sarah wearing this shirt as an introduction to one of these videos. So John, you're awesome. Appreciate it. If you're not following John Moore on Twitter, make sure you follow him because he does a ton of work in terms of integrating Litecoin as a payments option. So appreciate John Moore. And so continuing on, yes, resistance there, and we'll see what happens really as these short positions play out as well. I mean, if you look at the Bitcoin short chart, and you kind of try and find any type of correlation with the Bitcoin daily chart USD, you can see some things. And I guess one of the things I kind of see is if you look at the stock RSI and the Bitcoin shorts, right? If this short and we're in the daily right now, if this continues to get some upward momentum, and that continues to rise, what would be interesting is if there's synergy with what's happening on the stock RSI daily for BTC USD, which is to say we are overbought. So if those short positions continue to rise, at least in the short term, this could be the setup as we come back out of this overbought area on the stock RSI. If we come back out of that area on the stock RSI, come back down, this could be the setup of resistance that we're talking about at this huge resistance area for this new lower high. So that's something just to be caution, or to have caution in terms of if you are accumulating, if you're investing, something to be cautious of on the downside. But it could be setting up. I'm not saying it definitely is. The other thing I do want to point out is if we look at the RSI, which is more of a better long-term oscillator to look at, you can see the previous lower highs, right? As the previous lower highs kind of get into this overbought area on this RSI, not the stock RSI, this overbought area, that's when that lower high is formed. So you can see we're kind of approaching that 70 area on the RSI. So one thing to keep in mind is as we approach that area, if I can get out of this RSI chart. So here's that previous lower high right there. Here's that lower high right here. So now you can see we're approaching that 70 area on the RSI right here. So there's a lot of things happening right now in terms of Bitcoin resistance. And be careful in terms of that. However, be on the lookout, because if we break that area and shorts do get squeezed, this could be a truly nice breakout for Bitcoin if we break through this area and we kind of break that $8,400 mark of the previous lower high. So something to look out for on Bitcoin. On Litecoin, similar to that, we have really this neckline area that we pointed out on the daily chart the other day. Keeping an eye on that. When we pointed it out the other day, we talked about resistance here at the 50 EMA on the daily to come back down and test the neckline. What's cool is it's happened already. It's happening right now, and Litecoin possibly setting up for a further bull run if we see support hold where it is above this neckline. And we're going to jump in on the 4-hour chart and kind of get an idea of what that looks like. Before we do, I do want to point out right now that similar to the Bitcoin, obviously overbought right now for Litecoin. So be careful in terms of accumulating at these levels as well. But if we do get a confirmed bounce off of support and confirmed breakouts on Bitcoin, that could be a more safe, conservative play in terms of accumulating additional Litecoin, even if it's a few dollars more than where we are now. If you're like, a little bit cautious at purchasing at $66, but we get a confirmed breakout and the market rallies, a $70 Litecoin is a little bit safer of a play in terms of, okay, we're getting some upward momentum. We see some real true buying pressure and volume coming in, and we have a confirmed support bounce off the neckline on Litecoin. So that's a more conservative play. So that's happening right now. So we talked about this the other day in terms of that 50 EMA was like right, hold on a second. So I'm on the 4-hour chart. On the daily chart, that 50 EMA was like kind of like right here. We talked about possibly possibly seen resistance at that area for Litecoin, even as we broke through this neckline. And we did. We kind of didn't touch the 50 EMA on the Litecoin daily chart. You can see it. We didn't touch it, but it got close. And I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. See how we wicked up, got close to that 50 EMA, and then we saw some resistance. Now, the key area that we talked about looking for, if we saw resistance at that area, is right at that confluence area of the 200 EMA on the 4-hour chart and the neckline. And you can see as of now, Litecoin has actually held some nice support right there at that area. You can see, I'll zoom in, we really wicked right down to that 200 EMA on the 4-hour. We see support hanging out right around that neckline. And we have a short-term bounce in the works right now. So what's going to happen going into Sunday night, into tomorrow? We got to keep an eye on it, but it's some really exciting charting to look at and to keep an eye on in terms of will these support areas hold or not. So if you want to look out for Litecoin, I would just say keep an eye on this area, which is like that $64, $65 area. Let's see if Litecoin can build continued support there, even if it comes down a little bit in the short term. What we don't want to happen is to break the 200 EMA and come back down and start testing this 50 EMA, because that would be very reminiscent and maybe even confirm a possible downtrend coming. And I say that because that is really how Litecoin has moved in the past. And we can zoom out on the 4-hour chart to get an idea of what I'm talking about. So what I'm talking about there is Litecoin back in July. Last time we had a very similar formation to what we're having now, which is basically these higher highs and these higher lows on Litecoin, similar to what we're getting now. Did this, right? We did this before. We broke through the 200 EMA finally, but when we came back down, we broke back through it. So right now, what's really bullish is the fact that Litecoin is holding above the 200 EMA right now. As of right now, it's holding above the 200 EMA. We haven't broken down through it yet like we did last time, but you remember last time we broke down through it and back down through the 50 EMA. We tested it again, and then we came back down. So the key that we need to look for on the shorter term on the 4-hour is mainly just to stay above this 200 EMA for support. That's going to show some nice technical analysis indicators in terms of possible bulls stepping in and maybe a short-term rally, if not a possible bottom and longer term for Litecoin. So keep an eye on that area, $64, $65 right now. It really is critical and important in terms of Litecoin and what happens next, because if we get a breakdown through the 200, through the 50 EMA, similar to what happened here, we all know what happens next from those areas. Last time we saw a dip to a new low, and that was a 40% dip. So 40% in a worst case scenario, just to give you an idea of what that would look like, because that's my job, right? We have to look at the downside from $66. 40% is around a $40 Litecoin. A $40 Litecoin if this long-term downtrend continues. Nobody wants to hear that, but it's completely possible. That's just the bottom line. It's completely possible. If that happens, unbelievable. Price is below $50. Talk about awesome accumulation for Litecoin. But check it out. You can see how it is possible just because look at this downward trend of wedges that we've had with little rallies in each one, right? Everybody gets excited on these rallies that we have. It happens all the time. So don't be drawn in to that FOMO because it's happening again, because it's happening. But if we come back down and this is just another wedge, probably looks something like this going into a new wedge where we're talking about support in the $40, $30, $30, $40, $50 area. So be prepared for that area. This is it. This is under $50 huge accumulation zone for me personally. We've been talking about it for months. So will it happen? I'm not saying I think it will. I'm just saying be prepared for it, because that's what we do on this channel is we prepare for the downside, not because I'm bearish, but because I'm bullish and I want the cheapest Litecoin and the cheapest Bitcoin I can get my hands on. I'd way rather buy Bitcoin and Litecoin in these areas, right, than these areas. And we talked about that. That's mainly for mental reasons. so that you're mentally strong in this volatile market, because you just feel better when you're buying these 40% dips or whatever instead of buying the top of these little bull runs that we have and these higher lows. So, or these lower highs, sorry. So that's kind of my technical analysis for today for Bitcoin, for Litecoin. A lot of interesting things happening as the Bitcoin short positions play into this story, and you can see it there. So keep an eye out, be ready for either or. Kanda Kumar says, always bearish, Dan. I'm not always bearish. I'm always bullish. I mean, I think I just wore a bullish shirt yesterday. It says bullish. Wendell says, Dan is always looking to pick up more Litecoin on the cheap. Heck yeah, we all should be, right? What better approach is there other than like, what can we do? Just talk bullish all the time so that we can just like make each other feel good and buy these lower highs that happen? That's no fun. It's way more fun to buy the dips. It's way more fun to just be long-term bullish in this space and on these cryptocurrencies and buying dips than it is just to always be long and just buying whenever we emotionally feel like it. I don't think that's the best approach. Rick Winalls, what's up, Danny boy? Poseidon Lou, $9.99 super chat and £1. I wonder if that's Poseidon Lou saying he agrees with me. I hope so. I really do, because I know Poseidon Lou is maybe the most long-term bull that we have in here. And then we have Jim Flanagan saying, talking to my server right now about downloading a Loaf wallet. That is awesome. So that's so cool. And this is what a lot of people are doing. They're going around, they're setting up their servers, they're tipping their servers in restaurants with Litecoin. And I mean, really, the virus is spreading. And I think that's something Pomp says on his Twitter all the time. So Skilled Bad Habits, $5 super chat. Thank you, sir. Says, thanks for the TA, Dan. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. I really do. Thank you, first of all, for the super chat, but also just for watching, hanging out with me, letting me know your thoughts, your opinions, everybody. Thanks, Skilled Bad Habit. You're awesome. Extremely grateful for that. Ryan Jack says, how do we get those shirts? Ryan Jack, I think, is talking about... I'm not sure what shirt you're talking about, but John Moore, if you're in the chat, I think he's talking about your shirts, your Litecoin shirt. I think. So let him know. John Moore says he's always out there talking Litecoin, downloading wallets, and getting businesses to accept. Aristi Dave keeps bringing up Dash. I don't have too much of an interest in Dash, my friend, but obviously you do. But maybe if I get enough requests for something like that, maybe I'll do a video on an altcoin. I don't do a lot of altcoin videos. So I wanted to end with this. I thought this was extremely cool. I did a poll yesterday and it got almost 1,600 votes. It's a really nice poll because it gives us some perspective into like what's going on. At least I think so. Maybe 1,500 people isn't a lot, but it is to me. So I said, when did you get into crypto? And I basically put Bitcoin and Litecoin, and we have 17% got in 2018. 64% got into crypto in 2017. 19%, only 19%. So basically 80% got in 17 and 18. 2017, 18. Only 20% of at least people on my Twitter got in in 2016 or before. So that says something to me really interesting, which is to say, if we go to Bitcoin chart, right? Let's kind of zoom out. Let's zoom out. And this is, I think, something really important to bring up. So here's the Bitcoin chart, and 2000, I'll get a line, vertical line. So 2017 started right there. So there's the line, 2017. 80% of the people that took that poll from Twitter got into Bitcoin right here, or here, or here, or here, or maybe even here. But it says a lot because, in my opinion, I've been trying to really like pinpoint the mental aspects of cryptocurrency, the mental aspect of like even why people tweet and comment the things that they do. And this says a lot because most of the people basically on Twitter that commented and took that poll, which is to say, when did you get into crypto? That means most of the people have not lived through a bear market like we're going through right now. And this is just true in any type of market, in any type of fluctuating market. Like, there's a bunch of wisdom, there's a bunch of knowledge, there's a bunch of lessons to be learned when experiencing something so volatile and your money being wrapped up and tied up into something so volatile as this. And that aspect and that perspective of you, all you out there, and even myself, learning in markets that are like this is really interesting to me. And that's why I did the poll. I wanted to get a sense of like how many have had that thick skin from being in, you know, previous bear markets or being in such a volatile atmosphere for so long. And the answer was not many. Only 20% have been in this volatile market for more than 2017 and forward. So that was really extremely interesting to me, and I think gives really good insight into the market as a whole, into who is coming into the market right now. And we're still so early. So this, you know, I could take this poll in 2 years from now, and the people that are getting into cryptocurrency in 2019 or 2020, they're going to be the newbies. Outside of this 80%, these are going to be more of the veterans at that point, right, in 2020. And then we're going to have newbies coming in. That market cap is going to increase drastically. And I speak about market cap, and we can go to my profile because I still have this pinned tweet that says $1 trillion market cap by December 2018. And I do get comments on this often, which basically people are asking, is it still possible? And my answer is, it truly is possible. While it might have seemed more possible back in April when I posted this, it still is possible. $1 trillion market cap by the end of this year, 100% possible. We see how fast it increased last time at the end of last year, and the same exact thing could happen. The question is, will it happen? I'm not sure. Time will tell, but I'm still sticking by this. I still want to see if it happens for fun. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And if we don't get $1 trillion market cap till 2019, oh well. Still awesome to be early in this space, and still awesome just to kind of be a part of it and learn as we grow in this volatile market. So those are pretty much my thoughts. $4 trillion by December 2020, completely possible. $10 trillion by December 22. You remember Dan Moorhead in that article the other day that I went over, calling for a possible $40 trillion market cap. Not by any particular date, but $40 trillion market cap in general. That's a Pantera Capital CEO, Dan Moorhead, calling for 40 trillion being possible. So currently, when I posted, the market cap was 430 billion. We're like way down from there. So all I'll do is I'll end this video by saying, if you are here, and I'll end it how I ended that. Good job on being here so early, because really, you are here early, and you are here early in this crazy volatile market. Let's see what these shorts do. Are they going to get squeezed or not? I'm really curious. John Moore says, if you FOMO buy or buy high, you're actually lucky long term because you're still accumulating at low levels compared to where Bitcoin and Litecoin are going. Perfect context to FOMOing in. It's very true. It doesn't have to be a bad thing if you FOMO, but if you FOMO, probably best to hold. That's not financial advice, because like John Moore just said, you're still accumulating at low levels. So if you do FOMO and you feel bad about your decision, the best thing I could say is to zoom out on the charts and think about what John's saying there, which is basically, even if we come back down from your FOMO buy, right? Even if we come back down, most likely, as long as the market doesn't completely fail, most likely, long term, your FOMO buy will pay off big time. So don't be too concerned about it, but obviously never spend more money than you can afford to lose, because then you're going to lose sleep at night, because then you're going to be stressing, because then you're going to be anxious. Trust me, this was me back in like 2008 real estate market. That's really where I learned a huge lesson in FOMOing, as I FOMO'd and bought way too much real estate, and then it crashed. But perfect example, if I would have done everything in my power to hold onto those houses, probably would have been fine 10 years later. Script Skynet, Dan, what do you think about these shorts getting bought up? Would that line up with the anticipated bearish move to the 4,000 to 5,000? Exactly. Script Skynet, exactly what I was just talking about in terms of this shorts. And you can see the bounce on the stock RSI on this chart and the RSI. You can see this bounce simultaneous with a possible bounce off of this overbought area on the stock RSI for the BTC USD pair. So simultaneously, this could really be a setup for a lower high on Bitcoin and then new lows in the $4,000, $5,000, $5,500 area. So really good question. I know that sounds bearish, but it's something to really anticipate, because you can see every time, not every time, but you can see last time we were in this overbought area, and then, you know, even back here in April, overbought area, we came back down and we formed, you know, if not tested a previous low, we formed a new low. So really good question there. Appreciate that question. Assad Harari with the $9.99 super chat. Thanks, Assad. You're awesome. Appreciate you, dude. He says, Dan the man, would you take profit now if you bought Litecoin at $50, anticipating any pullback? It's a great question. And honestly, somebody in live chat the other day asked me something very similar, or they commented and asked me something similar, because I was talking about possibly coming back down, because we really have done a really good job of anticipating these swing highs, right? And then these bounces back down off the lower highs. So they asked, if you think it's going down, why don't you just sell right now and buy back in lower? So to answer your question, Assad, I never do that. With Bitcoin and Litecoin, I just don't do that. If it's an altcoin that I'm, keen on trading and making profit and taking profit, heck yeah, I'll do that. But Bitcoin and Litecoin, they're just no matter what price I buy it at, I hold. No matter what the price is doing, I hold. And that's just my approach. I think it's a solid approach because you're completely removing the potential for any emotional trading. I don't think it's smart or wise to trade Bitcoin or Litecoin if you're simply long on the two, right? If I'm years long, why would I even try and take a little bit of profits? So, however, if you're a trader, right? If you're learning on trying to get good at trading and taking short profits, there's nothing wrong with taking profits, even if it's like, what is it? You said $50. So we're talking from Litecoin, that's a $15 profits per Litecoin. So even if it's something like that, and you're like, man, I feel good with that, depending on how many Litecoin you're talking, if you want to take profit there and kind of get your feet wet in trading, it's not a bad idea to do it, right? You're making a trade at a profit, and then the worst thing that can happen is which is Litecoin continues up and you've lost your position that you had at $50. So that's why I don't recommend doing that. And surely you, Jess, says only invest what you won't miss. Pay your bills. Agree with that. So Assad, appreciate that. And Assad says I have 80% long and 10% trade. So, and I think you just answered your question, which is like, I think you found what you're comfortable with in terms of what you want to invest long and what you want to just mess around with trading. And I think that's the most important thing. Everybody's different. My approach is probably way different than everybody else's approach, and it wouldn't work for many people. But if you're long, as I am, and you do want to dabble and trade a little bit, you just basically said you have 10% of your portfolio for trading, which I think is a good idea. So John Moore says, spend the cryptos and support the vendors that accept Litecoin and Bitcoin. Agreed. Agreed. It's one thing getting a vendor set up, but then actually utilizing it and making it happen by going there and purchasing and them actually accepting Litecoin and Bitcoin, that's a whole different story. And that's what needs to catch on. That's what needs to happen. And it will. It will. Slowly but surely it will. So those are my thoughts. Gurdip Singh says, dump your Litecoin. We have a Litecoin hater in the house. Everybody show Gurdip Singh some love. And he says, dump your Litecoin. Obviously, that's not financial advice from Gurdip Singh, but that's his opinion. John Moore, what is your Twitter handle, just so that we can kind of let everybody know? Assad says, dump Singh. Johnny Litecoin, there it is. John Moore at Johnny Litecoin on Twitter. Go follow him if you want to get that first-hand experience of what it looks like to walk into a sushi place and set up accepting Litecoin, accepting Bitcoin. Go follow Johnny Litecoin at Johnny Litecoin on Twitter. So again, I will leave it here. Good job on being here so early. I agree with that. I think we're all here very early, and I think we're having some fun with it. And I think as long as you're long, as long as you're really not spending more than you can afford to lose, I think you'll be okay. That's not financial advice. Those are just my thoughts. Let's see what happens with Bitcoin. Let's see what happens with Litecoin. Interesting to watch in the short term. Keep your eyes on those areas of support that we talked about for the two going into this weekend, or at least the end of this long weekend. But I really appreciate all of you. It's time for me to head out. It's Sunday. Gonna go hang out with Sarah, my beautiful wife, and enjoy the day. I encourage you all to enjoy the day as well. If you're not on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. I'll try and update price action as things progress. As always, it's Sunday. Truly appreciate all of you super chatters. I love you guys. I love you all. Thank you for your support. Thank you for hanging out. We'll see you all in the next video. Have a beautiful day, and God bless.